All right, it's Tuesday night. It's early September, but where I am in Madison, Wisconsin, it feels like November. Marnie, you're still in Northern California. How are you? What's going on there?
Oh, well, I am so happy we're here and live again on Facebook. I wanted to read something about how it's going here. Ready? So I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. COVID-19, the directions are stay home. If you leave, wear a mask and stay 6 feet apart. 2 million acres of California are on fire. The directions are be prepared to evacuate. Now, we have been in 100-degree plus heat. Directions, go outside, open windows. Air quality is cancerous. Directions are stay inside, do not open windows. And you have to wear different masks when you go outside, and sometimes 2 masks. And then the fourth thing is we always have earthquakes, and the directions are stay inside and get under a strong table.
Okay.
So pick your poison. Huh?
And that's what I'm doing. Happy to be here with these amazing people.
Yeah, who's joining us this week, Marnie? Do you have an introduction?
Well, I would think they should introduce themselves. Natalie and Karyn, lifelong friends, amazing classmates. How's it going?
Good.
Very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good here.
Yep. I'm
Okay,
also
so-
Wisconsin. It's very cold.
Yes, Natalie's in Amory, Wisconsin, close to Minneapolis. Karyn is in Rochester, Minnesota.
Equally as close to Minneapolis.
Nice.
Like a little triangle.
And we learned today that you guys have really been, well, I learned today, maybe Marnie already knew this, but you guys have known each other since like birth, practically. Yes?
Three and a half. So going on 48 years.
Do you remember the circumstances under which you met and how that all went?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk, Natalie, or do you want me to?
No, I can. My parents moved in next door to her parents when I was 3, and that's how we met. You live next door
The rest
to
is
someone
history.
your entire life growing up. And that's, you know.
So that was it. You lived in those 2 houses your whole childhood, all the way through high school.
Yep. And her
graduation.
parents still live in that house.
They still live there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, I lived close to people I went to high school with or went to school with all the way through, not next door neighbors. And we were friendly, and they were cool, but you could get stuck with some bad seeds, right?
Everybody was great. Yeah.
Yeah. We had kind of a little Golden Valley posse. Dan Trockman and his older brother Mark and younger brother Steve lived just like 2 houses across the street from us. Elise Hope lived up on the corner about 5 houses away. Kyle Hansen lived around the block. Johanna Knutson lived just down the street.
Wait a second. Okay, well, I obviously didn't do enough research and my memory fade as we're older. So do you women know I'm a Golden Valley girl too?
Yeah, but you were Meadowbrook, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit farther.
No, see, we were in a little corner. We're on Plymouth Avenue between 169 and Winnetka.
Okay.
And we're in a little pocket. And if we lived like 2 blocks east, we would have been Robbinsdale. And if we lived like 4 blocks north, we would have been Robbinsdale. So, so we rode the bus with Mary Leighton, Jenny Thompson, Caprice Burno, Ron McClure, Johanna Trockmans, Elise, Kyle. I think once in a while we ended up going across Winnetka and we would pick up, I don't know though, maybe we didn't, Chris Camp, Chris Arney in the Brookview area.
Yes.
Bus riders, but I don't remember if that was the case or not. Maybe we just knew them through other things.
I just think that was the late bus.
The lady bus.
The after school bus. The after school bus.
Why do you call it the lady bus?
I don't remember that.
Oh, the late bus.
The late bus.
The late
After
bus,
school bus. Yeah.
After school.
It's so cool that you're reminding me that we're all Golden Valley girls. And
Yes.
there's another Golden Valley girl here right now. Chris Camp Glazer
Yes.
says, hello, Golden Valley girl.
Hello,
Oh,
Chris.
hi, Chris. Yeah, she's one
Yep.
of our friends too.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we all did the Westview Tangland route to get to North Junior High. We were at Westview for kindergarten, first and second. And then when Golden Valley and Hopkins merged or whatever happened there, then for third grade, we all got shipped to Tangland. So that's how we ended up there.
There hasn't been a lot of tangling on this show yet, so this is
No.
good.
No, Tangland represents.
The
Or
round
Westview, probably
school,
either.
right? Like a donut, that school.
Right,
Even farther
Right.
back.
yeah.
So what I remember about you guys, obviously, is that you were sort of music department participants.
Yes.
Some theater as well. Did you
I-
both always sing? Like you were both in choir, I remember. Did you
Yep,
both always
I,
sing? Was that
I-
starting at a young age?
Yes, I proudly wear the badge of drama choir dork.
Yeah.
All through. I started singing like my mom was musical. She played piano and was a singer. I mean, in like church choirs and things like that, not like professionally. And I, was in kids choirs all the way my whole life. And it just was a natural progression. Got to sing under Mr. Cook at North, and he was a great influence. And then moving into high school with Mr. Nordley was, kind of life-changing, because then I went on to actually major in theater with a music minor, voice performance in college. So
Okay, I'm going to follow up. And Natalie, you don't go anywhere. So you said he was life-changing. How? That's such a big deal.
he just fostered the love of singing and just we had all the great ensemble groups, madrigals, and we did a jazz, like blues group called Royal Blues.
Royal Blues. Yeah.
Natalie and I were in that at least 1 year, maybe 2 years together. I don't even remember how many, or were you in it all three? Or maybe we didn't do it all three.
2 years, I think I did it.
Our sophomore and junior year, I think.
Natalie, what do you remember about Royal Blues? I don't remember anything because I'm like studying history books.
Yeah, it was just a small group of great people. There was, 2 people for each part. So who else was in? Byron Almain was in.
The Brocks, Brock Groth and Brock Heinrich.
Yeah, was Craig Michael in it for a while?
Craig Michael
Nathan
and Jody
Flugel.
McGill were 2 years ahead of us.
Yep, Nathan Flugel.
Nathan Flugel.
Goforth.
Jen Goforth was in it 1 year at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember,
Yeah.
I don't remember Royal Blues. I remember madrigals because that
Yeah.
was really fancy.
Really
And
fancy.
Much bigger group.
Seemingly very difficult and disciplined, right? That was
Yeah.
tough.
It was, and that was an auditioned ensemble, or you got asked to be a part of it. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the Royal Blues were kind of Mr. Nordley's show choir, kind of, but we didn't do the show choir thing. It was blues. I mean, he taught us how to sing R&B and jazz. So
Yeah.
Wow.
I do now love blues. It's one of my favorite things.
yeah.
Going to
So
see
yeah,
blues perform.
Natalie, what did you like the best of all that choir stuff? The big choir, the madrigals, the Royal Blues, other stuff? Because I know there's soloists and like small group stuff that you do for concerts as well.
Yeah. I like the small group stuff. I like the big choir because, we just met so many great people that we're forever friends with. And I did the smaller groups too. The theater, I liked being, part of the theater performances, and but I did like the smaller groups. Were more fun. We got to go to some different places and perform.
Okay, I have so many questions. So it's fun for me because when I was in high school, I was just more like reading books and didn't appreciate creativity as much.
You were in dance line, Marnie, and you were in band, maybe not in high school, but you played a musical instrument. I know.
Thank you.
So let's just get all the facts out.
I'm focusing on our guests.
Okay,
so,
good.
Natalie, do you sing now? Karyn and Natalie, do you sing now?
Yes.
Karen performs a lot. I sing in the car and I sing to my children, but not anywhere in public, you know, as a featured performer. No, I haven't since.
Yeah.
Just at home.
Do you miss it? Do you miss singing in front of people or in a, I mean, I know there's like this sort of magical thing about it being in an in-tune choir, hitting harmonies, and how that's really an addictive experience. Do you miss that?
It's very energizing. I do a little bit, but you know, life's been busy, so there hasn't really been too much time to miss it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
okay, Karen, tell me.
yeah, what are your outlets, Karen? I know
My outlet, well, when we first moved to Rochester, which was in 1993 when we got married, my husband was also kind of involved with, well, he's very, very musical. He plays multiple instruments and sings and records and composes. And I just sing. I don't play any instruments. I just sing. We both got involved with the Civic Theater here in Rochester and did that for about 6 years until our family started to grow. Once we had our oldest son in 97, we kind of took turns doing shows. And then we had twins in 2001. And that kind of brought my theater career to a screeching halt, to have 3 kids under 4. So I haven't done actual theater, like on stage live in a full blown production since the year 2000. And I miss it. But I don't know when I'll be able to get it back. Maybe now that all of my kids are almost out of the house. Because then we went on to have another one after the twins. So I've got 4.
I'm losing count 4. Now
4.
I have to, so one of the cool things a couple weeks ago is Chris Camp announced that she was the first grandma of Hopkins High.
Yes. Yes.
I'm calling you, none of you are grandmas.
Anybody want to say it?
No. My oldest son is 23 and just got married. Our boys, we have a picture. Do you have the picture handy, Jason?
Yeah, let me pull up the art here while you're talking.
Pull up the baby bump picture. So we were pregnant together with our first kids and they were born 2 weeks apart.
No.
Yeah.
And how did that feel, Natalie? Was it a surprise or like, oh, we're friends, this is happening at the same time?
Initially, it was a big surprise, but
we'll walk through these here while we've got photos of.
So this,
you guys,
pretty sure this is probably the first photo of us taken. It's on a tire swing in my backyard. And that oak tree that hung from is actually still standing in the backyard. And that was dated May 73.
And so, Karen, are you the one in the tire?
Yes.
Okay. I can still see Natalie's resemblance.
Yes.
That is outstanding. That's such a great photo.
So sweet. Thank you so much for sharing this.
There's the baby bump.
There we go.
Oh,
The 90s hair again.
that's probably like December, January, maybe late November, December of 96.
Let's pause. This is so amazing. So did you talk to each other about being pregnant?
Oh no. It just happened.
It was not a planned thing. It just was complete coincidence, but it seemed kind of natural, I guess, normal. We were together a lot. I don't know.
And then do these babies know each other?
They did. I mean, they know who each other is, and we did a lot more, when my parents still lived in Golden Valley, and we would end up at Grandma and Grandpa's together. They would hang out, and we visited each other's homes a few times here and there. But I'm not sure what date that was. That one was undated. I'm guessing like 3rd grade.
Yeah, something like that.
At England. Okay, let's do a call out for the collar and the sleeves.
Yes. And and I'm pretty sure that was like a satiny shirt that my mom probably sewed.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago we heard, whose birthday party is this?
That was my birthday party. This is one of my favorite pictures. I specifically went to my mom's to go dig this picture out weeks ago. So that's in order. So it's go on the left side. It's Jody Suter, Shannon Doherty, Elise Hope, Karen, me, Stacy Siegel, Tanya Peterson, Kyle Hansen, and then my little brother.
Oh,
Kyle Hansen, there he is again.
He's missing his
appearing.
teeth in front. Isn't that cute?
okay.
Oh,
So
great.
So we heard a couple weeks ago about how someone threw a toilet at Heather Mazinga during Heather Thorson's birthday party. What happened at this birthday party? How old were? What do you remember about it?
I don't remember anything. I was like, wow, I had a butterfly cake. Thanks. You know, that was
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't
Somebody was
really
very
remember. But it looked like we're all having fun, so I guess it was it was good.
Wow! Look at this hair. Oh, keep going.
Okay.
Well, these are also great. I love the gals on the trikes on the bottom.
Yes.
There.
Yes.
That was
sun
a
hats and
parade our
everything.
park had. Our park board had a little parade in the summer.
Oh
So
yeah.
we're part of the parade.
Yeah.
There we go. Then now we're starting.
Now,
There we
these are the faces I remember.
Yeah.
Right.
Graduation
Right.
day. That hair. Right
Yeah,
here.
that's great. That's all we've got. That's the extent of our shared photos.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's fun though.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit of fun.
And so one of the themes about our show, which I'm very interested in, are lifelong friendships. And so you don't have to get too sappy unless you want to. Like, what is it like to be a friend with someone for your whole life?
Oh, I was thinking about this the other day because Joel asked the other day when we were at lunch. And I don't know if we really answered him, but so I've been thinking about it. And I mean, she's absolutely always been, she's the sister I never had. She's just always been in my life. And to put it simply, I just like her. I just really like her. She's a great friend. She is. She's a good friend. She's an awesome mom. She's a great person.
Yes. Ditto. I mean, I'm sure it started out because of proximity. I mean, we lived next door to each other and we basically lived inside each other's homes. And, and then we grew up and we've had periods where we don't see each other for a year or more. And I think what the question Joel asked us at lunch on Sunday was, what's the secret? And I said, well, I think I've had periods where I've not been a very good, intentionally good friend. I mean, in keeping in touch and I think we were all so busy with raising our families. There was a spell where we probably went maybe 5 years without even seeing each other and maybe talking on the phone a couple times a year if we were lucky. But we've always been able to kind of pick right back up where we've left off. And now that our kids don't need us quite as much, we've been trying to be a little more intentional about having a getaway together or an overnight or and spending some more time together and just trying to reconnect. But she's just always been the friend that was always there. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's the thing about getting together is difficult. I mean, and you guys are still relatively close, but you're not like, Minnetonka, St. Louis Park close.
Right.
You're like
No, it's
hours
2 hours.
apart. You have to
We meet
you have
in the
to
city.
put in work for that. People that
Yeah.
we've had some people on the show or people that we've connected with who, they get together every year. But that's like a huge thing and they really plan it. And it requires a lot of intention.
Right. Yeah. And there, like I said, there was just periods where we were in the throes of raising our families where having 6 kids between us, it was just logistically difficult to spend time together because it would mean an overnight, and where do you put 6 extra people in most homes and that kind of thing. So
So Chad Alt is here and he brings up a couple of good points, and one of them is long live Mrs. Dunbar. And most people who went to our high school have no idea who Mrs. Dunbar was. I know Mrs. Dunbar because Heather Dunbar was just like a couple years behind me at Gatewood, and I knew Mrs.
Okay.
Dunbar. But so who can tell us who Mrs. Dunbar was?
Mrs. Dunbar was the full-time paid staff accompanist for the choirs and all the ensembles. So she was literally just always there. And that would never happen in today's, lack of budget for the arts in schools. But I'm pretty sure she was full-time paid staff, or she was there maybe part-time from, 9 a.m. to 1 or whatever. But she was available for sectionals. She accompanied all of the choirs and the ensembles, and she was like an older gal, but I don't think it's been very long since she retired. Maybe she retired about the same time Mr. Nordley did, but she was just always there and available and could read music
Yes, sight read anything. Yeah, it's such a weird, it's a wonderful role, but it's very different from, I'm trying to imagine if anybody else in the school in any way, other than maybe some of these coaches who coach sports teams but weren't full-time teachers in the school.
Right.
She obviously, had an impact on people. People are talking about her 30 years later.
Yeah.
And she played the piano. So she wasn't like a teacher, but she also had some sort of mentoring.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting you bring that up, Jason. So one of the questions I'm interested in asking both of you is there a teacher or a staff member who had the most influence on you? You don't have to pick favorites, but who comes to mind, Natalie?
Oh boy.
At HHS.
I'm blanking on her name right now. I think the Spanish teacher did. The Spanish teacher. Mrs. and I can't think of her name. Is that terrible?
Oh, I got it.
Mrs. Meyer?
Yes. Yep. Mrs. Meyer. I really liked her. She would, I think she would notice if you were not, that happy. And one time she came up, she just wanted to know if everything was okay. And I think that really meant a lot to me. That the teacher would just notice and ask you, just checking in with you. But we had a lot of people, I think, at our high school that would do that. A lot of the teachers were very good that way for us.
Yeah.
How about you, Karen? Who comes to mind, the one adult?
The one, well, I had 2 safe spaces, and it was an art room and the choir room.
Yeah.
So Mr. Nordley and Mr. Jacobson, Mel Jacobson.
Well, sneak peek, we have just booked a show with Mr. Jacobson.
Yay! That's awesome.
That's great.
Awesome. I don't think anybody ever actually called him Mr. Jacobson. You have to call him Mel.
Sorry,
even in junior high. So I had him mostly as an art teacher in junior high, but it kind of carried into high school, and he was just always somebody I could go talk to. And I see him probably 2 or 3 times a year now.
What do you
I go out to his house when he has his sales. We go visit. He has his pottery sales from his home studio in Minnetonka.
Do you go?
And I'll see him a couple times.
So what was it? You did a particular medium? He sort of taught across media, right? Or was it only pottery?
He was mostly ceramics at the high school level, I think. Yeah. I don't know if he taught any of the drawing and painting. I think that was mostly Vern Anderson and Mr. Narola. But so I only had him, I think, one time as a teacher in high school, but I had him all through junior high. So I would say the choir room, and then obviously Mr. Williams, being the theater director, had a pretty huge impact on me. In fact, he took time off from directing for many, many years, and my niece and nephew ended up graduating both from Hopkins, and my niece ended up in Into the Woods, which is like a bucket list show for me that I still have not been in a full production of, being directed by David Williams, her junior year in high school in 2012, I think. And it was actually his last year directing. He came back for just a season, I think, and then just retired a couple of years ago, finally.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a huge full circle moment for me to be back in the high school theater, watching my high school director direct my niece in a show that I've dreamt about being in for 30 years. So,
whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a question. So there's been some chatting on our Facebook group about Mel Jacobson.
Yes.
And Chet also says, didn't he teach calligraphy?
He did.
In junior high at North, he did, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I do.
Back to Dave Williams. I've been thinking about him a lot because first of all, I mean, obviously based on his longevity, like he was a relatively young teacher.
He was.
Even though to us, it was like, whatever, you're an adult.
I think he thinks he was, when I saw him in I think it was 2012, when I saw him that fall, he looked at me and there you could see like the glimmer of recognition and we figured it out. And when he realized how old I was at that point, he was like, oh my God, I was probably, and he wasn't even a teacher at that point. I think he was just support staff. He was just a para and then directed theater and did a lot of the kind of disciplinary things. Cause I think there's a lot of people at Hopkins that don't really have a favorable opinion of David Williams because he was kind of the hardball.
Yep.
Yeah. But,
great, though.
but he thinks he was probably 20, 27, maybe 28. So just 10 years older than us when we were being directed by him.
I mean, the thing that our theater, the difference between our theater experience and other theater experience that I hear about is that we had so much of a say in how things went. Like, it was a collaborative process. It wasn't like the director came in and said, this is the play we're doing and this is how we're doing it.
Right.
And I'm going to, we talked it through. Everything got talked through. Everything got collaborated.
Well, especially the one act that you and I were in together our senior year. That was student written, basically.
Now, Jason, tell us about your theater experience. I'm like, cool.
Since high school?
No.
Since high school or in high school?
What did you do in high school that was theater-ish?
I tried out for the spring play my junior year as I like acting. I always was in plays and stuff as a younger kid, and I'd never done anything in high school. And so I couldn't sing. So musicals were just not an option for me. And so they, they announced, that's the best thing about high school plays. Hopefully it's like this everywhere, but it was definitely like this at Hopkins. Whatever, show up and audition, like if you're good, you'll be in.
Yep.
And so I tried out for the play. Nobody knew me. Williams didn't know me. And it was great. It was a Woody Allen play called Don't Drink the Water.
Don't Drink the Water. Yep.
And so it's sort of a madcap kind of comedy, and I had sort of a minor role, but it was a blast.
So
and then I came back and auditioned for one act's senior year. That's what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which Karyn talked about, which we wrote as a cast, and which was a blast. And then the spring play senior year, which was Agatha Christie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing that I remember about that 10 Little Indians was the play, and then there were none senior year. And like, it was the first time that anyone had ever given Williams like a real budget. So he brought in these guys that he knew to build a real set.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, is this completely different and amazing?
Yeah.
And night and day from the junior play.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question as someone who is not an actor. Did you have a big enough audience? Did we show up to support you?
Yeah, I think so.
I
don't remember.
Absolutely.
Pretty much full for every show. Yeah.
It was like, I'll tell you, this is one of the best things about being in plays, especially that senior year play, is that friends of mine brought dates to those plays. And so then when you come out afterwards and chat and stuff, you're like, oh my God, you're like you thought that this was a classy enough deal to like bring a girl trying to impress.
That's so cool. Well, as we're talking about it, I do have like this image in my mind of being in the theater, but only for the Todd Ames Blues Band and Review. But I can like see the theater itself, right?
Yeah.
Very
and now that's just like the tiny little theater space, and they've built the big 1,500 seat like performing arts center as a part of the addition. Yeah.
Okay, well, we have some comments from our esteemed audience. Diana Masters Penagor, sorry, Diana is here. She says, I can remember standing room only
Yep,
fit,
up top.
and then there were none. So
Sure.
I think she meant to say
Yeah.
four, and then there were none. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the ones, yeah.
is that a play you did?
Yeah, it was the Agatha Christie.
Yep. I don't
And
think
that was the one with the set, and that's what
Yep.
Jennifer Ryder was in.
Wendy
and
White.
Wendy White, yes. Aaron
Um,
Larson, who was a theater
Larson.
nerd. How come his name hasn't come up? He was in Madrigals and all that stuff too.
Yes, he was.
Aaron Larson.
Okay,
And
well,
Aaron and Jennifer Ryder were the romantic leads of that.
Yeah.
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 there
And
was so
Yeah, I
Josh
should have gotten
Berger.
my yearbook. I should have brought my yearbook up with me.
oh no,
But
there's too
Josh
much.
Berger was in that. Josh Berger was in that, and he was a year behind us.
Oh, Josh,
He
yes.
was like fanboy of David Williams and
Yeah.
followed him around the school.
Yeah.
Can I tell a cute little thing about Annie Get Your Gun?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Karyn and Chad were, the starring roles in Annie Get Your Gun, and they still call each other Annie and Frank.
Yes, we do.
Well,
They
that's
still
very
do.
cool because Chad says a minute ago, I believe there were 4 sold out shows for Annie Get Your Gun.
I think so. I think so.
Probably. Yeah,
Those big
And see-
musicals are, everybody loved them. They were huge casts, so everybody's
Yeah.
fan clubs showed up.
And you might not know, here's another little interesting tidbit, is Chad was my first boyfriend in 7th grade. 8th grade. 8th grade. 7th grade, 8th grade. I don't remember. Chad, was it 8th grade? That was when he moved to Minneapolis and started coming to our school. He was my first boyfriend. So then for us to end up, 5 years later as the leads in the musical together was pretty crazy.
That is
I'm trying to find the photo.
okay. I'm going to read some more of these comments.
Okay.
Harry Chouse, who is the class of '89, who's an official honorary member.
Yes.
Hi, Harry.
Hi, Harry.
There's the photo.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Make it too
Oh my
shiny.
gosh.
Right. Heartthrob.
There we are.
Okay, so Harry Chouse writes, oh, it's missing again.
yeah.
Doug Robertson says, hi, everyone. I didn't go to any plays or choir concerts because I was a lame teenager.
Yeah.
Hockey player, whatever.
Hockey player. Okay, Chad says you might have dated in 8th grade.
I think it was 8th grade. We went together in 8th grade.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've talked about your favorite teachers.
Yeah.
Like, now that you're both parents, how does your high school experience affect your parenting?
Oh.
My kids are like, I just thought I was going to be more like overseeing things as teenagers, right? Because they just do teenager things. But we have like 2 really
Natalie's
Oh no.
great
in and
guys
out a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's okay, Natalie. We're going to switch to you, Karen.
Yes. I'm not sure how high school is such a different entity now than anything. We had the smoking door and just like, and
Did you smoke at the smoking door?
huh?
Did you smoke at the smoking door?
I did not. Oh, heavens no.
I'm just
No.
curious. Well, you bring it up. I'm just asking.
No, you think about that and the fact that we could just mill about and the whole mall experience and the whole, it's just a different creature. I don't know. We ended up with girls who like to sing and we're in choir. My boys are both drummers. So I've been able to kind of continue fostering a love for music and performing and things. And my one daughter's a gymnast. So I don't know if, you think about what you did and what you didn't do, and you hope that you can pass on a little bit of wisdom maybe. but it's just a whole different, it's not even in like, it's not even a, I don't know, I was gonna say it's not even the same stadium, let alone, I don't know, in terms of being the same ball game, a different ball game. It's just, high school now is just a completely different creature.
Well, I appreciate that. Natalie, are you back? Are you frozen still?
Nope, I think, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we can hear you. So when you think about high school, does it help you parent at all? Or is it, as Karyn said, and many of our guests have said, it's a totally different ballgame?
Yeah.
It's very different. The schools have a lot more security. Our school is small. So like my son, our youngest son right now, he is a senior. His class is 120. So we didn't do, they didn't do things in school. We often did lessons outside of school and just went and found our own, you know, instructors for different things. And we're kind of a small town, so we have had to go like to Hudson or, you know, different places to find, like our son right now, he takes voice lessons and he takes them in Hudson because there's nobody here that does that, or at the high school even that does that. But he's in choir, and, you know, they only have plays every other year here, which is a huge bummer. So there's just not as much, you know, availability for them to do as many things here.
Yeah.
Those arts things are one of the areas of high school that I just really, I'm worried about in light of the pandemic, just because I feel like, man, how many people, I mean, there are tons from our school, but you hear from kids from all over the country who say, you know, man, if it wasn't for orchestra, I would have been dead in high school. I would have dropped out, you know, or, I mean, and we knew some of those kids in choir too, who that was what was keeping them coming to class every day. And how they met people and how they got, you know, belonged in something, you know, in school. That's just not available right now. It's
Right. It is.
I love it because you could be friends with people from different groups a lot more easily. You know, all different kinds of people joined choir. And that was one of the really great things about it. Yeah. That I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jason, you're sounding so grim. I'm going to add, so Doug Roberts is like, I'm excited for 30 minutes of frivolity. So I'm going to transform the pandemic gloom into a question for Natalie and Karyn. Is there something that you've, a new hobby or something you've done in the pandemic that you haven't done before that you really enjoy?
A new thing.
New or old? Are you indulged? Like, I'm knitting more.
Sure.
I started making sourdough bread in January. I was gifted some sourdough starter, and I've never tried making bread ever in my life. And this friend of mine just forced it on me, and she's like, here's the starter, here's the recipe, go make some bread. And so I tried it like that next week. And I've been feeding my starter faithfully ever since. And I make about a loaf a week now of fresh sourdough bread. So
and I'll tell you, I've had this bread. It is awesome. My mom, she brought a loaf to my mom in February. My mom is still speaking about this bread. She's still talking about it. So it's good.
That's great. Yeah, it's dedication, right? You have to stick
I think I'm just doing a lot more things outside. I love outdoor activities, and this is the first summer that I've just been able, you know, really gone and done a lot more of that. Spent a lot more time doing those things.
Details, like what?
Like hiking and kayaking and just riding my bike. I'm a huge bicycle person. I didn't even get my driver's license until I was probably 23. I just rode my bike everywhere. I lived in the city, so I just rode my bike everywhere. And, you know, you just get out of that habit when you get so busy. And so I resigned from my job in February, just before all the craziness happened. So that was kind of my plan, but now my plan is a redo to do this over next year because I haven't been able to do the things that I wanted to do. Karyn and I were going to take a 50-year-old trip, you know.
Where?
We haven't decided.
California.
We were talking London because one year of first grade to second grade or second grade to third grade, I don't remember. A family from England moved in on the other side of us, on the other side of me. The dads were both teachers and they did like a teacher exchange. So we had this English family living next door to us for a year. And we've kept in touch with them all this time. And we were thinking, let's go back to England and visit the Bassetts. And because they had 4 daughters, kind of all around our age.
91 for what, a wedding, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, 93. It was right before I got married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kathy got married, remember? Yeah. So we saw him in 93 and my parents had gone back after that to visit them. But so we were thinking, let's go to London or, you know, California or the Carolina coast or something, or.
Yeah, we haven't decided.
We hadn't decided and then COVID happened. So when we're like,
Well,
okay,
I have to tell you
we don't
something
have to decide.
about 50th birthdays. You have 50 days before and afterwards to celebrate.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, I
there's
haven't
no
decided.
stress.
I was going to be a bit more greedy. I was just going to do a whole 50 year. The whole
Year, yeah,
was gonna be
yeah,
just chock
50
full of all the trips I wanted to take. And,
right.
But
Right.
no.
Yes, and I'm quickly closing in on 51. So, you know, yeah.
Well, you two are amazing people, and I'm so grateful that you took this time with us. And as always, I always feel like we could talk forever, and I wish we could
Yes.
go out for a meal and
Yes.
invite everyone around us to join us.
Yeah.
Grateful.
Well, we are grateful to you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know
thank
how
you
you
so much.
brainchild this and decided to come together to make this happen, but it's amazing and it's been so fun.
We do. We
Yeah,
really
it's been really fun. Marnie and I are very lucky. We get to catch up with people every week.
Yeah.
And next week,
Oh, yes. It's going to
catching
be
up
fun.
next week we're going back to Gatewood. I hate to tell you, to my
Okay.
school with Stephanie Brown and Jen Lind.
Nice.
Yeah,
think-
that'd be awesome.
I think they were in my reading group in elementary school. So we'll have some good stories about that, hopefully.
Well, as we close up, is there anything else you want to say to each other or the world? We are going to
Wow.
we post this on YouTube. We are we're going to do this till we interview everyone. So
That's
is there
so fun.
anything else you want to say?
No, except that I love it. You know, I kind of hopped on the reunion committee for
Yeah.
kind of a little bit for our 20th and then really jumped on board for the 25th and the 30th. And that has just been so much fun. So if you know somebody that has never been to a reunion, let's get them on board and invite them to the 35th, because I think we're planning one. And in a couple of years, we'll
Wow.
start talking about it. So
This is my cup I took from
there's
the-
our cup. Yay!
Oh, Natalie, nice. Bringing in the memorabilia.
Yeah.
The cup that we gave away at the 30th. So if you weren't there, we still have a box of them, I think, sitting in Chris Bjork's garage. I
Oh,
think
really?
he got a good
Oh,
supply
really?
of them. So
Okay, well, we'll talk about that later. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
yeah,
I bet you we could find a way to do some giveaways every
we
week.
could.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. That would be fun.
It's fun.
And we need
Everybody
to get
does.
Chris on the show too.
Yeah. Get Chris and Joel together.
Oh yeah.
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 They've been a hoot to get to
Yeah,
know
hoot.
these last few years.
That's
So
great.
yeah, I'm a huge like reunion. I'm a huge sucker for anything that has to do with any kind of people coming together from their past kind of deal. So this whole deal and our class reunions, and they just get better and better, I think, in bringing the people together. So yeah.
You know, it's funny because I haven't been to every reunion, but I've been to the 0-year ones, 10,
Sure.
20, 30. And, you know, there are people just that I know who didn't go to our high school, and a couple of people who did go to our high school who are like, how do you do that? How do you go to one of those? I could never do that.
Yeah.
I would, last thing that would drag me. I'm like, it's just pretty fun. Like, it's a pretty good time. I don't know. I just have a great time talking to everybody.
Yeah,
That's
just
part
where
of
everybody's
why
at.
we do the show, because it's just fun to talk to people from our class.
Yes.
And become friends with people that you never were friends with in high school, you know?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had great conversations with people I barely knew in high school.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Bjork, I don't think I ever even spoke to him in high school. And now we have this texting chat group, and it's usually, we're all a bunch of night owls, most of us. And so like 9, 10 o'clock, it'll start. And Joy Geislinger said, I know, she goes, I just love picking up my phone and I get 50 missed texts. She goes, I just know it's you guys.
So cool.
Interesting. The secret cabal of the reunion organizers.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
And it's just silly. And, some of the goofy stuff you say late at night.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. So,
All right.
Jen Lind and Stephanie Brown next week. We are
Awesome.
trying desperately to book the Rare Ups, Eric and
Yes.
Elite.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
We spoke earlier tonight, so she's going to have to come on because we embarrassed her with a childhood photo. So she
Yes. I've got a few of that I could get with her. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to see those. We should send them.
Then we have Mark Mengi, and we're trying to get Mark to nail down a co-host, a co-guest to the show. We might just have to stick him with somebody at this point,
No. It's gonna be really cool. Yes,
then,
we have. Then what?
Then we've got maybe the Rare Ups again, but we have to start booking some people. We have to.
Oh yeah.
fill
Well,
up.
no, we have many. We're going to talk to every single one of you.
Yeah.
With your consent. We're so excited, and I'm so happy that you two women joined us.
Well, thank you, Marnie.
It was fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah, and I hope everybody does it. I like to see everybody's videos.
They're going to. We're working on some of the secret hideaways.
Okay.
Thanks everybody on Facebook Live. Chad Alt and Dan Trockman, thanks for all of your comments tonight. I'm not sure Dan's been with us for a show yet, so it was fun to see.
No, you need hundreds of people up, Jason. Just bear with me.
Hundreds.
A couple more years.
Right.
Yeah. Do you guys need a copy of the class list so that you can start checking things off?
Oh, yeah.
I can send that to you.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I do consult the yearbook,
Okay.
and we are not having trouble booking guests. I have to say, I'm really trying to have gender balance, race balance,
Yes.
balance in cliques. We're doing our best to be diverse and inclusive and equitable.
Yes.
So
Yes.
luckily we had that kind of class. So
Yes.
we can talk offline. We are always open if you want to pitch us guests.
Don't be bashful about saying
No.
I want in. So
Yeah. Don't be bashful.
Yes.
Hey, stay safe, people. It's a joy to
Yes.
talk with all of you.
All right.
Stay
Thank you,
safe.
Jason. Thank you, Marnie.
Yeah.
Thanks guys. See everybody next Tuesday.
Bye. Bye now.